In this video, I'm going to give you guys a update on the reliability issues I've been having with the Sig P365 XL. Harrison Jones here with Harry's Holsters. So, as you guys know, in the first 1,064 rounds I shot through the Sig P365 XL, I had some issues. There could be a multitude of reasons. What I personally suspect is tolerance stacking in the gun, meaning something with the tolerances in the barrel, the spring, everything else. I just got a bunch of parts on wide ends of the spectrum that don't seem to match up. So I haven't cleaned this gun or done anything since I re-lubricated it at 500 rounds into the 1,000 round test, and that didn't seem to help at all. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shoot the 124 grain lawman. I fired the first 64 rounds through this gun were 124 grain lawman, and I didn't have any issues. And then I shot another 100 rounds at the end of the 1,000 round test, and there was a 5% failure rate, all failures to return to battery. So I'm going to start off the range. I'm going to set up some targets and see how the gun does now. And if it doesn't, if I get 2 failures to return to battery in the first 100 rounds or more, once I get 2, I'm going to clean the gun. I've got everything with me to do that and see how it runs after a good cleaning. So I'm just going to take you guys through a standard range day that I do, and we're going to see if there's any failures with this P365 XL. I'm at 25 yards. I've got a B8 out there, no time. I've loaded the gun up, but I haven't done any dry fire this morning, so this is completely cold. Okay, so not sure how well you guys can see the target, but we've got 3 off the paper, and it's not even worth scoring because of the 3 off the paper. But as you can see, I'm shooting like a 12, 13-inch group at 25 yards. And this gun is, the hardest part for me about shooting this gun at this distance is the sights. The front sight, the way I'm seeing it, is roughly the size of the 8-ring. Still not an excuse, I should be shooting better than that. That's 100% on me and not the gun. Mechanically, I bet the gun can probably shoot everything inside that 10. But if I were to carry this, I would definitely want to switch out these sights. They're fine for 10 yards an end, and they're a decent set of sights, but they're nothing great. I'd honestly like to see Sig come out with a slot filler option like Glock, so you could pay $100 less for the gun or whatnot, and then add something a little bit better. I'm on the 7-yard line. I'm shooting a USPSA target, and my goal is to get sub 1.3 second A-zone hits with this Sig P365 XL. I should be getting these under a second, but where my skill level is right now, 1.3 is a good target. And that one, okay, so that one I just barely shot on the line, and that was 1.61 seconds. One thing I will say about this gun, for one, I should be doing that with this gun probably in 1.3 seconds. But one thing that makes it a lot harder is the distance from the rear of the grip to the front of the grip. That's something I don't see a lot of people talking about, but it makes this gun feel a lot smaller than it feels like it shoots. So if you're at an outdoor or at an indoor range, you load your gun, set it on the table, or you pick your gun up off the table, you get your master grip that way. It's much easier to get it than out of the holster. And the way this executive is set up, you can see I've got plenty of room for my hand to get a 1-second grip. The problem is my fingers need to wrap around the other side, and that's my biggest complaint with this gun. .54. 1.55. 1.64 and out of the A zone. As you see, I missed my shirt there on that first go. 1.79, man, that's slow. 1.32, finally a decent time, but I'm finding it really hard to get a grip on this small gun. So now I'm going to shoot some 3-round string, see how I do. One out of the A zone, time of 2.46. .92, which is a pretty good time. 1.37 on the draw, 0.28, 0.27. But I shanked one in the head. .16, much happier with that. Okay, so I fired 30 rounds to the gun so far and I haven't had any issues. So I'm gonna do some limp wristing just to see, so we can start to see if it was a heat issue or if it is a user error. So again, with the limp wristing, the web of my hand, the trigger finger is gonna be the only thing controlling the gun. Lock back even. Lock back again. I'm gonna fire this last 10 rounds. We'll have 60 rounds through it, and I think okay, so 60, that was 30 rounds straight of limp wrist testing and no issues. So I think we can rule out any limp wrist testing from the original 1,000 round, or rule out any limp wristing issues from the 1,000 round test. Now it's starting to get hotter. So slide, you would not want to hold this slide for that long. I'll leave it open, lock back as I go back to the truck and reload. All right, so at this point I fired 60 rounds, 30 of it was limp wristing purposely. No failures. The gun has started to heat up. I've loaded another 60 rounds up in the mag, 10 rounds in each mag. And now I'm gonna shoot the test at 10 yards. Okay, so I'm down here at the target. I actually ran over my time. I did a 10.32. The par time is 10 seconds. And I got a 98 on this. That was my one flyer. That was a really good group. Okay, so just finished shooting that up in a time of 11.28 seconds. Okay, so I just shot a score of 92 in 11.28 seconds. That's pretty bad in terms of going over the time. And I felt like I was speeding up. As small as the gun is, I'm having to try to work really hard to keep my grip on it. And that's because I can't get a good grip out of the holster. Okay, 7.5 seconds, so a lot faster than my previous times, but I can also tell I'm a lot less accurate. Okay, so a score of 91 on this, and I was trying to go a lot faster, keep a steadier grip, so my sight picture definitely wasn't as good with a faster cadence. And like I said, I'm really fighting this grip on this gun. 10.69 seconds. All right, 8.27 seconds. All right, so here at the target, I got 97 on this first one. The time was over 10 seconds by a good margin. And then I got a 93 on the second. That was 8.27 seconds, yes. So acceptable, but again, I've really got to work for this because of how small that grip is. Okay, so I'm back here on the 45-yard line. As you guys can see, we got some field targets set up down down here, and I've got 30 rounds left of the 124 grain lawman. That'll make a total of 150 rounds, and then I'm going to switch for the next 50 rounds to the 124 grain blazer, neither of which this gun liked. And so far, it's running pretty dang well. So let's just have some fun. Okay, so I had a lot better luck with this P365 XL today. I ran 200 rounds through it, and I didn't have any malfunctions. 150 of the 124 grain lawman and 50 rounds of 124 grain blazer brass. And both those had over a 5% failure, a 5% or higher failure rate with this gun. So that's a good sign. Or is it? I mean, it doesn't really answer the question. I did some pretty thorough limp wrist testing with this gun, so I think that kind of rules out, and didn't have any issues today. I think that rules out shooter error. Could it be some sort of break-in? Maybe. I think more than likely what it is its tolerance stacking. When the gun does get really hot, that chamber probably swells up just a bit, and that's what causes the issues. You know, this gun ran the 115 grain ammo really well, so I'm thinking maybe the recoil spring isn't quite strong enough for that ammo. Now, what does concern me is I have seen multiple other people have this issue, and people are saying shooter error, but they can't really describe what shooter error that is, because we've ruled out limp wristing. So if you do think it's shooter error, please leave a comment below saying what kind of shooter error it is. Now, this gun, last time it was lubricated, was 750 rounds ago at the middle of the 500 round test, and the malfunction just got worse from there. I mean, it fired 99 rounds of 115 grain after that just fine, but then it started having issues, and there's actually a fair bit of lubricant still on this gun even after 750 rounds. So the gun was being run wetter than even I thought, and so not that wet, but guys, ALG makes good stuff and it doesn't smoke off that easy is I guess what I'm getting at. So I hope this video has been helpful. Let me know if you want to see me do another 1,000 round video with the next P365 XL again.